Welcome to the God of War timeline, Part 2, The Ghost of Sparta. In Part 1, we saw the creation of the world as the Olympian gods rose to power after winning the war against the mighty Titans, and a young Spartan called Kratos grew up alone after his mother and brother were taken away from him, eventually becoming a father and going on a quest to save his daughter's life, as the gods toyed with the lives of mortals from above. Kratos treasured his wife and daughter more than anything in the world, and finally found happiness in a life otherwise plagued by loss. He was a hero in the Spartan army, and was officially promoted to the rank of captain by the king. Kratos and his men were feared in the ancient world as he gained an enormous following with fierce loyalty. His men would gladly bleed and die for him on the battlefield, winning countless battles and conquering land after land for Sparta. Kratos was so successful he was further promoted to the rank of general, leading entire military campaigns and being away from home for long periods of time. But something was happening within Kratos that his family feared. Lysandra was concerned that his newfound power was getting to his head. Kratos was becoming power-hungry and relentless, and she wanted him home with their family.
How much is enough, Kratos? When will it end?
When the glory of Sparta is known throughout the world.
The glory of Sparta.
But the glory and destruction that Kratos reveled in would soon be paid back tenfold. The barbarian King Ulrich had spent years planning his revenge against the Spartans, studying their tactics in great detail and building his own army. The time to strike had come. With the blessing of Hades, he tracked down Kratos and his now massive army of Spartans, and struck with an accuracy and ferocity the Spartans had never encountered before. Bodies littered the battlefield in the violent conflict as Spartan after Spartan fell to the savagery of the barbarians. In the end, only a few of Kratos' army stood, and the young Spartan general and father was about to meet his end at the hands of Ulrich. And at that moment, Kratos made a decision that would change his life forever.
Ares! Destroy my enemies, and my life is yours!
The sky split apart, and the God of War stepped through. Descending from Olympus, he saw the makings of a god in a mere mortal. Ares would save Kratos. He would turn him into the perfect warrior, his servant on Earth. Only a simple pledge of loyalty was required.
My life is yours, Ares. From this day, I shall carry forth your will.
And his fate was sealed. As promised, Ares rescued his new disciple, bringing forth the power of a god, destroying those who would slaughter Kratos and his men. The blades of chaos, forged in the foulest depths of Hades. Once attached, the chains remained so, chained and seared to the flesh, a part of the bearer's body, a permanent reminder of Kratos' pledge. In return, ultimate power. The rage of Ares exploded from within.
The barbarian army was annihilated, and Kratos was now a servant of Ares, the god of war, having pledged an oath to serve him for the rest of his life. Ares' plans were slowly coming to fruition as he personally trained Kratos over the years, making him a terrifying, unstoppable force. But deep inside, Kratos knew that he had become a monster, but breaking an oath, even one made out of desperation to a god, was known to be an impossible, unforgivable crime. Ares sent Kratos and his men, now feared across all of Greece, to destroy towns and villages dedicated to other gods. Ares was slowly plotting to take his place as ruler of Olympus, but Zeus had forbidden the gods from fighting amongst each other, as Zeus struggled to keep his son under control. But Ares knew that Zeus was too powerful to confront on his own, and was aware of the prophecy that the Olympians feared, secretly grooming Kratos to be as devastating as possible, in a plot to unleash the mortal on his fellow gods. But in the eyes of Ares, Kratos' attachment to his family made him weak, and had to be dealt with. The god of war ordered his servants to attack a village dedicated to his sister Athena, and they burned the village down without question in their servitude. But as Kratos stood in front of one of their temples, a feeling of dread came over him, warning him that something was wrong. But unable to break his oath, he continued the slaughter and made a mistake that would haunt him forever.
In that instant, the glory he had reveled in turned to horror. The image of his two final victims would stay with him for all his days. A cruel trick orchestrated by the God of War.
My wife, my child, how? They were left in Sparta.
You are becoming all I'd hoped you'd be, Kratos. Now, with your wife and child dead, nothing will hold you back. You'll become even stronger. You will become death itself.
His family was dead. Now Ares believed that Kratos could reach his full potential, but instead Kratos cursed Ares, swearing he would never serve the God of War again, breaking his oath. Filled with anguish and guilt over his actions, Kratos left the temple as it burned, and the oracle of the village cursed him to remember his crimes for all time, fusing the ashes of his wife and child to his body, giving him a ghostly, pale appearance. Kratos relieved himself of command and abandoned his army, returning home alone in misery, searching desperately for a way to break his bond to Ares and suffering from visions of his family. Trying to break his oath to the God of War was a crime not unnoticed by the Furies, and they searched for Kratos, attempting to hunt him down and punish him, and in his despair, a stranger appeared to him offering help.
Do you have business with me?
I do, but this is not the manner to discuss it.
I see no other way.
You have no reason to trust me, Spartan. I only ask that you try. Your thoughts are not your own, but I can help you. I believe these belong to you. Use these items to still your mind, Kratos. Do not let illusion deceive you. Have the visions ceased?
I see only you.
Good.
This stranger was a being named Orcos, the son of Ares and the queen of the three Furies, Alecto. Orcos was an early attempt by Ares to create a perfect warrior to take down Olympus. Ares mated with Alecto and hoped that his son would be the perfect weapon he was seeking. Before he had discovered Kratos, but Orcos failed to impress him, and the God of War disowned him, and the Furies showed no love to him, and forced him to become the Oath Keeper, responsible for keeping track of all the oaths promised to the gods, and informing the Furies when one was broken. It was a heavy burden, but Orcos was eager to earn the love of the creatures that he referred to as his mothers. However, he saw the true injustice of the oath between Ares and Kratos, and learned of his father's plot to take down Olympus. Turning against his parents and his duties, Orcos tried to warn Zeus of Ares' plot with the help of an oracle, located in the mountainous region of Delphi, but the Furies went after him, barely escaping, as Orcos tracked down Kratos, sending him to seek the oracle, in the hopes that Kratos could stop his parents. This leads us to the events of God of War Ascension. Kratos discovered many powers that only the strongest of mortals could wield, powers that would help him on his journey to Delphi. The way to the Oracle was extremely dangerous, and the path ahead was one that no mere mortal could easily make, full of monstrous creatures and dangerous obstacles. But a Spartan's determination knows no bounds.
No! Help me! Someone please help me!
After his battle with the beast, Kratos found his way inside the Temple of the Oracle, but instead of finding the Oracle, he discovered the Greek Gemini twins, Pollux and Castor, two conjoined twins that took over the Temple of the Oracle and stole her amulet of Ouroboros, a magical item that could control the flow of time temporarily, which the twins used to keep their youth. And refusing to let Kratos see the real Oracle of Delphi, Pollux and Castor made the mistake of standing against him.
Is unstoppable! You have sealed the Oracle's fate. But an innocent.
After killing the twins, Kratos found the Oracle, having had her eyes, the source of her powers, taken from her, ripped from her head by the Furies as a punishment for attempting to warn Zeus. The illusions that Kratos had been suffering from were a product of the Furies attempting to drive him mad, and the Oracle gave Kratos a way to free himself from his madness and the oath he had pledged to Ares. Kratos had to reach the Lantern of Delos, a massive structure on the island of Delos, where the eyes of the Oracle were hidden, the only power that can break through the illusions keeping him from reaching the Furies. Kratos chartered a ship of sailors and made his way to Delos, but the Queen of the Furies was aware of his actions and made her way there in a monstrous form. While searching through the island, Kratos ran into more illusions of his Spartan soldiers, reflecting his guilt for abandoning his army and leaving them in disarray, and the Furies, Megara and Tisiphone, used the visions against him. But even then, Kratos was too powerful for them to handle.
We only mean to bring you home.
Sister, show him what Sparta does to a traitor!
Us, and pain is what he shall receive!
No more! I will kill you myself!
return to your rightful place. Perhaps, if you serve your purpose well, you will even end up on Olympus one day.
I will never serve Ares again!
You will return.
Death first!
I should have done this a long time ago.
Orcos! This is what you align with, Spartan?
This time, you will fail.
What have you done? You pathetic weakling! Find them!
After being rescued by Orcos, Kratos needed to find a way to the lantern after the Furies destroyed the path leading to it, and using the incredible powers of the amulet in his possession, he was able to successfully repair the statue leading up to it. His quest was coming to an end, and he craved to be free from Ares and the Furies. Kratos successfully located the eyes of the Oracle, but it was too late. The Furies had found him, and the Queen unleashed her power against him, ensuring that he would be punished for breaking his oath and keep the plot against the other Olympians from being revealed. Kratos was taken away by the Furies and chained inside Aegean, the titan the Furies had torn apart eons ago, and converted into a prison for Oathbreakers. And he was tortured by Megara after she took the amulet of Ouroboros from him. She tortured him to his breaking point, but Kratos swore that he would never give up and bow down to the Furies' will. Unable to take on the angry Spartan on her own, Megara unleashed her parasites and commanded them to infect the body of Aegean, still alive and feeling everything being done to him.
For the last time, Spartan!
Kratos had finally killed one of the Furies and her parasite, taking back the amulet, and at the same time he brought the tortured life of Aegean to an end, finally giving the Titan the peace he had been refused for so long. Soon after, Kratos had another vision of the family that he missed so dearly, and although it was an illusion, the hallucinations were almost impossible to separate from reality, and Alecto used his family to tempt him into submission.
I have been away far too long.
You can see her in the morning. Come.
Kratos broke free of the illusion and stole the eyes from the queen, now able to see through their illusions. His final goal was in sight, and Kratos faced the remaining Furies in a titanic final confrontation.
You should have taken our offer, Kratos! Now you will pay for that mistake!
I am the Queen of the Furies!
You are not fit to be called a Spartan!
I lost everything because of you!
They were not there by chance, Kratos!
My death will not free you from this madness!
Finally free from the pursuit of the Furies, a relieved Kratos returned home, as a friend was waiting for him with grim news.
I would not have been strong enough to choose your path, Spartan.
Orcos.
I would have taken what my mother's offered.
I would rather live in truth.
I fear you may come to regret those words. Lord Ares still holds your bond.
This cannot be.
Before you killed them, my mother's once again made me your Oathkeeper. For you to be free, I must die by your hand.
I do not understand.
If you do not release me, my father will retain power over you, but even worse, I will live in eternal torture.
I have spilled enough innocent blood.
There is no other way, Spartan. Destroy the Oath. Kill Ares. And have your revenge. I was never the warrior my father wanted me to be. But please, all I ask, give me an honorable death.
With a heavy heart, Kratos ended the life of Orcos, freeing him from a future of eternal torment, and his bond to the God of War was finally broken, now a free man. But at the same time, the oath to the god was keeping his terrible memories at bay. Breaking the oath completely sent the memories of everything he had ever done, the innocent people he had slaughtered, the death of his own family, rushing back full force, crippling him emotionally. The memories replayed over and over in his mind in perfect clarity, haunting him. Kratos had nothing left in Sparta and burned the home he had built with his family, leaving it behind and setting out to right all of his wrongs, ending the events of God of War Ascension. And over time he sought to be forgiven for his crimes by the Olympians, in the hopes that they would erase the memories torturing him constantly. Kratos became a champion to the other Olympian gods, serving them and defending Greece from invading forces and the cities dedicated to them. He became well known across the land as the Ghost of Sparta, the pale warrior that served the gods of Olympus without question. During this time, the Persian Empire was growing quickly, an empire from a foreign realm ruled by gods outside of the Greek pantheon, leading to the events of God of War, Chains of Olympus. The Persian army invaded the city of Attica, and the Olympians sent Kratos to defend the city from these outside forces. But the Persians weren't alone, bringing with them enslaved monsters to create as much destruction as possible. Kratos made his way through the city, fighting against the Persian soldiers and assisting the warriors of Attica, coming across the king of Persia, leading his army directly.
Please, spare my life, and I will give you all that you ask. You have nothing I want, Persian. Take my kingdom, my women, my gold. I won't take your riches, but I will take your life.
Killing the Persian king, Kratos took the power of the Ifrit from him, a demon from the Arab realms of the Middle East that he had bonded with, and Kratos tamed it for his own purposes. All that was left now to free Attica was to clear out the now leaderless Persians and destroy the monstrous basilisk they had unleashed. Fulfilling his commitment to the gods, Kratos slayed the basilisk and left Attica, frustrated over the task the gods constantly sent him on, with no reward in sight.
Is this all you would have me do? Is there nothing else?
And at that moment, he witnessed something impossible. The sun plummeted from the sky, and darkness engulfed the world. He knew this was not a sign from the gods, and was unaware of the incredible danger the entire Greek world was in. The goddess of the underworld, the young woman forced to become Hades' queen, had become bitter and angry at the gods for taking her life away from her, and sending her to the underworld to watch over the dead for all time. Tired of her empty existence, she freed the Titan Atlas from the depths of Tartarus, and allied herself with the primordial god of dreams, Morpheus. Atlas captured Helios, and without the god of the sun to lead the way, the fire steeds that flew his chariot and lit the skies of the world came crashing down. Without the sun in the sky, Morpheus was able to unleash his full power, forcing all of the gods into a deep sleep to keep them from learning of the plot, and releasing his dark forces on the lands of Greece in an attempt to reclaim the world for the primordials. And Persephone had planned to have Atlas destroy the pillar holding the entire world up. Destroying the pillar would result in the entire Greek world to come crashing down, annihilating everything. Kratos headed towards the crash site and discovered the chariot of Helios smashed into the ground, and encountered a message from Athena, one of the few gods he relied on constantly for aid.
Kratos.
Athena, what madness has befallen us?
Kratos, there is not much time. Olympus needs you.
I grow tired of the gods' requests, Athena. I have given enough. Now take these nightmares from my head.
It is not for you to say when your servitude ends. You will earn your freedom in time. But for now, Olympus needs your unquestioning obedience. You must find Helios and return him to the sky, lest the world of gods and man be lost forever. Only his light can release the grasp of Morpheus.
Athena! Athena!
Kratos began his mission to find Helios and rescue him. He was growing even more tired of serving the Olympians, but knew if he didn't help them, it would mean the literal end of the world. After making his way through the temple, Kratos successfully reactivated the fire steeds of Helios, and took control over the chariot, riding it into the sky and struggling to control them. But the steeds had a mind of their own, and at that point, Kratos temporarily succumbed to the influence of Morpheus' power, and fell into his own dreams. But the steeds had pulled Kratos away from Morpheus' power, saving him, and taking him to the underworld, where Helios was being held captive. But these beings of light weren't welcome in Hades, and couldn't take him any further. Finding himself on the very edge of Hades, a place where no living mortal had ever stepped foot, Kratos began his search for Helios, encountering Charon on the river Styx, the ferryman of the underworld that was responsible for transporting the souls of the dead to their destinations. Knowing that it was not yet Kratos' time, he let the Spartan know that he was not welcome here, and Charon decided to punish him by plunging him deep into Tartarus with the other tortured souls. Kratos found himself chained to the walls of Tartarus, but no chains could hold his rage, and he ripped himself from them. He had to make his way through Tartarus, where the Titans remained entombed within the walls, and the Gauntlet of Zeus was resting, a weapon of immense power crafted by Hephaestus. Zeus used the Gauntlet against the Titans when he originally trapped them, using its power to thrust their chains deep within the walls of this forsaken land. Taking the Gauntlet, Kratos discovered where Atlas was chained and found it empty. As Kratos climbed out of Tartarus, he came face to face with Charon again, but this time, he was ready. After defeating him, Kratos took his ship and made his way deeper into Hades, following the light of Helios shining brightly in the underworld. But something along the shore distracted Kratos, a familiar sight that he thought he would never see again.
Calliope!
Upon seeing his daughter, Kratos realized that all that he had been working for, all that he had wanted, was within reach. Years of service to the gods had not delivered him from his pain. Never had it eased the burden of his past. And now, Calliope was found.
Calliope!
He thought the appearance of his daughter may have been an apparition, but somehow he knew this was his daughter in the underworld. Desperate to hold her again, he ran through the temple of Persephone, slaughtering the enemies in his way, refusing to lose his daughter again. But instead of finding his daughter, he ran into Persephone, demanding to know where his daughter went, hell-bent on being with her. In order to see Calliope again, Persephone convinced Kratos to let go of all his rage and power, in order to be worthy enough to enter the fields of Elysium, where Calliope waited for him. But this was part of Persephone's plot to remove Kratos as a threat, and he realized Persephone had been behind everything.
Calliope!
Father?
My child!
Why did you go?
I am here now, child. And I will not leave you again.
I have watched over you pathetic mortals for 1,000 years, and it is always the same. Serving yourself before the needs of others has always been your flaw. But no matter. For now you serve my purpose. It is time for all that came before to end. The Titan will fulfill his role and finish what I have started. I released Atlas.
You?
As you were pathetically disarming yourself, Atlas completed the task I set him out to do. With the power of the sun in his hands, it is only a matter of time before he destroys the pillar that holds the world. And Olympus with it.
But why?
Do you think it was my choice to wed a man I did not love? Live a life I did not choose? I was betrayed by the very gods that once saw me as their own. But no more. Once the pillar is destroyed, the world will revert into chaos.
And what is to become of you?
I will have my peace and be free from this miserable existence. I will perish, but it is my choice.
Father, what's happening? I'm scared.
In your selfish choice to be with your daughter, you have caused her ruin.
No.
Elysium falls too, Kratos. She will perish.
No! I will not let the gods take her from me again!
Father!
Kratos had an impossible choice ahead of him. If he decided to stay with his daughter, Atlas would destroy the pillar, bringing the world down on top of Elysium, destroying everything, including his daughter. But in order to stop Persephone and Atlas, he would have to lose his daughter all over again, forever. A distraught Kratos had to push his child away, his child that he had missed so desperately, and was forced to destroy the innocent souls in Elysium in order to regain his dark powers, the powers he needed to save the world and his daughter's soul. He would need to become the ghost of Sparta once again.
At that moment, Kratos knew his destiny was not with Calliope. The fates were never that kind.
Leaving Calliope behind and seething with anger and hatred toward the gods that had brought him so much misery, he prepared himself to face Persephone and stop the Titan Atlas as he attacked the pillar of the world, forcing it to begin crumbling.
Go to her. Be with her. Leave this world behind. Atlas! suffering will never end. Ghost of Sparta.
Kratos had slain Persephone and freed Helios, as Atlas was now chained to the bottom of the world and cursed to spend an eternity holding the world on his shoulders, a punishment worse than the one Zeus had originally placed on him. The champion of the gods had saved the world, but that meant little to him. After holding his daughter once again, she was ripped away from him, forever lost. And as Helios and the sun chariot returned to the skies above the world, Kratos rode it back to the surface. Flung from the chariot, Kratos safely landed on the ground, and Helios and Athena took the Olympian artifacts from him.
He has again served us well, Athena.
He is a remarkable mortal.
He is weak. Shall we help him?
He'll live. They must.
He had served the gods well, and the ghost of Sparta would continue his servitude for years to come. Join me next time for the God of War Timeline Part 3, Taking the Throne, where we'll see Kratos finally set out to have the revenge he promised Ares almost a decade before, unleashing a weapon that would seal the fate of Olympus. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like and a comment down below letting me know. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on social media. You can also check out some of my other videos or click my Patreon link if you'd like to support GamerThumbTV. This is Fabian. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.